So as Ben said, I'm Sophia Belle. I'm a musician and a service worker, and I've lived in the Boston area for my entire life. I currently reside in Somerville. So, a little over a year ago, I met Ben during a well-thought attempt in pushing back against the mass eviction of artists from Cambridge's last accessible practice space. Between the sadness of watching individuals pack their businesses into U-Hauls and the special type of frustration that accompanies the reality of displacement, we actually learned a lot. We learned a lot about Cambridge City Council and their role or lack thereof in profit-driven development. And we learned a lot about real estate speculation and how it does not often consider human life. And we came to understand the urgency of applying pressure to both of these institutions lest suffer another loss of invaluable space in the city of Cambridge. Property is often discussed as a side point in political conversation, like one can hold progressive opinions on the opiate crisis or LGBTQ rights or racial inequity without staring the question of land ownership in the eye. This is wrong because the most important resource on Earth is Earth. This upcoming week, no worries. This upcoming month, City Hall can celebrate my community in pride as much as it wants, but the reality is that I can never afford to live in this city. Most queer people cannot afford to live in this city, and most people, period, cannot afford to live in this city. So property, or in other words, space, is non-negotiably foundational to the health of our communities. There's a reason why the richest individuals on this planet secure their fortunes in real estate. There's no substitution or alternative to land. There's a reason why some of the most ethically vacant business people in this country, such as the one in office, secure their fortunes in real estate. It's because it takes a complete disregard for the livelihood of all people to play financial games with the ground beneath our feet. This is why it is absolutely vital that our public representatives take hardline stances on development, on affordable housing, and on protecting physical places that provide services for all constituents, not just the affluent ones. Through our fight for EMF, I learned that only a few councilors are up to this task, the rest accepting donations from the aforementioned enterprises. It felt very lonely to come to this realization that the only available protection from the unbridled interest of these developers was and continues to take money from these developers. As someone who grew up in this area and as someone who is struggling to stay here, I cannot overemphasize how disruptive and emotionally stressful it is on a human life to constantly face the threat of being forced to leave one's home just so that someone can line their pockets. There is no world in which someone can claim they are a progressive representative and remain complacent in this looming cycle. This brings me to Ben Simon and why I wholeheartedly support his bid for council. I trust that he truly empathizes with working class struggles because he is working class. I trust that he has a profound understanding of what it feels like to wake up and realize the neighborhood is gone because he is the neighborhood. In our activist work together, I found him to be extremely humble, self-reflective, and passionately committed to the well-being of Cambridge. This city holds incredible potential to be an economically viable, diverse, mixed-use, sustainable, art-filled city. We simply need someone who believes in that vision. Thank you.
Yeah.